Kalkalosh, Boker Or, Bekiim Bahalacha 3, day 88, Siman 21. Okay, this is page 195. Halacha bet. It is forbidden to use one's talit gadol to wipe one's eyeglasses clean. But one may use the talit katan for that purpose. So you can't use the talit gadol, but you could use the talit katan. Okay, 261. The act of cleaning one's eyeglasses does not show contempt for the cloth used for the purpose. Many people have a cleaning of them on the shirts, right? And this does not show that they're contempt for the shirts. According to the rules explained above in halacha number 1, it should be forbidden to use talit gadol for the purpose, but it's permissible to use talit katan. According to Kav Chaim, it's going to be forbidden to use either or. Rabbi Yashiv came and he said it's permissible to clean with a talit katan, since people often use their garments for this purpose. So then you're allowed to use the talit katan. There's agreed ruling that it's forbidden to use either or. He pointed out that a Kav Chaim rules stringently regarding regarding a talit katan, unlike it has chadish. Right? If this halacha is one example of the debate in Shabra and Kavachim, we may follow the lenient opinion as explained in the previous halacha. Rav Eliyahu David Rabinowitz to me testified, I wear good eyeglasses regularly, and they constantly get fogged up by my breath. I permit myself to wipe them with talit gadol or the talit katan. Right? When I engage in other activities, I make sure not to use the talit for any other mundane thing. We see from here that the Rav would not use talit katan for mundane purposes, but again, it was a personal stringency. Kul Yosef ruled that it's permissible to use either talit gadol or talit katan for wiping one's eyeglasses, based on the ruling of Rav Eliashiv. However, Rav permitted only with the talit katan, not with talit gadol. It is apparently the Mishabra was also going to be forbidden for a talit gadol. What about mopping one's perspiration? Can you come and, a person's sweating, can you use it? So Maaseh Ish cited the Chazon Ish ruling that it's permissible to use the talit katan to wipe the sweat from one's brows. Chaim is explained that his uncle did not consider it to be a contempt for the mitzvah. This can be compared to Rav Eliashiv's using it for the eyeglasses. The Piskei Teshuvah, however, ruled that it's forbidden to use either the talit gadol or talit katan to wipe the one's sweat. As a source, he cited the Mekor HaChaim. If this is so, there's a twofold error here. First of all, the Mekor HaChaim discussed using a talit to wipe away mucus and phlegm, not sweat. And second, he ruled that it's forbidden with the talit gadol, not a talit katan. The response to Chayei ruled quite stringently in these halachot, forbidding both wiping one's sweat and cleaning one's eyeglasses. He considered both activities to demonstrate contempt for the mitzvah. Since many Achronim did not consider wiping the eyeglasses to such an activity, follows that they would not consider wiping one's sweat to demonstrate contempt either. The Ginzei Kodesh cited of Yosef Shalom Yashiv, ruling that it's forbidden to dry one's hands on one's talit katan or to wipe one's sweat into it. For these activities, they display contempt for the mitzvah. In case where a person has no other options, however, there is some room for leniency, since it is going to be possible to argue that it does not display contempt. Even so, anyone who follows the lenient opinion should make sure not to wipe the sweat in a manner that shows disrespect for the talit. Okay, drying one's hands. So he says the Ben Ish Chai ruled that if someone's hands are dirty, he may not wipe them clean on his talit gadol or talit katan. If his hands are only wet, it is possible that wiping them drier on the talit does not demonstrate the contempt for the mitzvah, and therefore would be permitted to use one's talit katan. After all, many people do not mind wiping their hands dry in their ordinary garments. It's forbidden to wipe their hands on talit gadol, whether or not this displays contempt. One must never dry one's hands after performing netilat yadayim on any garment, because that's going to be kasher l'shikha, right? If you're right after netilat yadayim. Yeah, stop. There's no problem. It's only the netilat yadayim there's a problem. The Ginzei Kodesh cited Rav Eliashiv that it's forbidden to dry one's hands talit katan to wipe one's sweat onto it. For those activities, it shows contempt. Again, basically, it all depends. Does it show that you're disgracing the mitzvah or not? That's what it is. Fine. Other activities. So it is forbidden to use talit katan for any activity to display contempt. Therefore, you're not allowed to wipe one's nose with talit katan, or you can use it like a rag to wipe on dust off from the garments, things like that. Or, although it is forbidden to use talit gadol for any mundane purpose, it's permissible to use talit katan for any purpose that does not contempt. Therefore, talit katan may be used to wrap an item, like may be folded to use as like a cushion or to spread over a table. Likewise, may be hung up a certain block to block the sun or things like that. One must not use the talit gadol as a blanket or a cushion or a pillow. Okay, so again, there's going to be a difference between talit gadol and talit katan. Talit katan, you're permitted. Talit gadol, no. But let's say I need the shade. So I'm going to put up the talit katan, and I'm using it as a shade. Okay. Talit accessories. The Piskei Teshuvah, he comes and he says that the halachot applying to the talit gadol apply to also the accessories as well. Right? This includes the silver collar or the patches and all these things that are going to be attached to it. Fine. Halacha Gimel. If someone's hands are soiled, they're dirty, he must not wipe them on talit gadol or talit katan. Such activity is again contempt. For the same reason, it's forbidden to launder a talit either gadol or katan together with clothing that are heavily soiled. If the other clothing are only normally soiled, then it's going to be permitted. Okay, 262. The Kachim ruled that it's forbidden to launder talit gadol together with an ordinary clothing. Rav Eliashiv comes and he testified, however, the common custom is to be lenient regarding this.